Guess what I have? Bet you don't know what these are. They're watercolor, and I want to show you how I like to use them. So come along, and we're just stay there. You just sit right there, and I'll show you. So if we go to danielsmith.com, let's read what it says about the watercolor sticks. So this can be found at danielsmith.com, and click on products, and beyond paint we go to, actually no, it's in watercolors, watercolor sticks. Okay, so the power of pure pigment is at your fingertips with portable, versatile watercolor sticks. Painting, drawing, scribbling, and mark making come together for maximum creative expression. Each stick is the equivalent of 3 full pans of paint, making it a fantastic value. So 62 highly light fast permanent colors. It's like a pen in your hand. Okay, so this is just the Daniel Smith brochure, by the way. And here I have quite a few. I have almost the whole set. And by the way, these little dishes came from Hobby Lobby, a set of 4, quite inexpensive, and they just so happen to fit perfectly in these dishes. So, I mean, look how pretty. So some of these are my older sticks and some of these are new, and so there was a situation where I was being an idiot and I took the labels off. Don't be like me. So the plastic cases that they spoke about are these, and they come together. So they come stuck together like so that you can have 5 in 1 like that. And I broke mine apart. So I actually keep my watercolor sticks at my desk. However, I like to use these when I travel with them. So these are jewelry storage tubes from Hobby Lobby. Yet again, I go there a lot. And listen, isn't that so satisfying? So these just ended up being perfect, and I can hang them on my storage board, but they also go great in my bag. So when I want to just grab a stick and go, these tubes are perfect. I can see what's inside, and these fit in my bag perfectly. So there you have it. You can buy these separate, or if you buy a set, there's a couple mixing sets that you can purchase that come with these containers. Okay, I want to get painting with these. All right, so I have a piece of my favorite paper. It's the Fabriano Artístico soft press paper, and if you haven't heard me talk about it yet, I don't know, you've been living under a rock, because I love this paper. So it's amazing. All right, so as far as my dot card goes, there is a handful of these colors that come in stick form. So I have those here. Unfortunately, King's Royal Blue does not come in a stick yet. Hopefully soon. So I threw Lavender in there. It's the closest match. Like I said, there was a situation and took the labels off my sticks, and it was really just a bad judgment on my part. So they had to be taped back on. Don't do what I do, please. All right. So most of these, with the exception of this, purple, are on my dot card. And as you can see, I've used these quite a bit. And some of these I actually cut pieces off of and stuck in my travel palette. And so that's why they're little nubbies. But I do have full-size sticks of them. I'm just trying to use what I have. I have been using this one so much. So this is what I use for the darkest parts of the eyes and the nose on my pet portraits. And so that's why this one's getting used up so quickly. All right, so I want to show you how I use them. And obviously you can do all kinds of stuff with these. Okay, so here we have the gorgeous Lavender, and oh my goodness, it matches the shirt I'm wearing today. So that's exciting. Totally not planned. But this is kind of how I like to use them. I just wet a brush and then touch it to the stick. Here's the cool part. These are so pigmented and they wet so easily. I don't know if you can see that, but like it's wetting so easily. We add a little more water. That pigment, I mean, they're just so pigmented. They have significantly less water in them than the like literally wet straight from the tube paint. They are so pigmented. So these run about $9 US at Blick Art Supply, and that's usually where I buy mine. And you get 12 mLs. And the tubes come in 5 to 15, just depending on what you get. These have so much more pigment in them. So it's just a good way to be able to get Daniel Smith colors without having to spend as much if you're on a tight budget. And honestly, you don't need every single color. In fact, if I were to recommend 3 sticks for you to get that would be like your perfect mixing colors, they would be probably like a Hansa yellow light and then a magenta type color. My favorite pick is Quinacridone Red. It's on my dot card. And even though it says red, it is more of a magenta, as you will see in just a second. But Quinacridone Pink, let's see, we have Quin Coral, Red. We've got Opera Pink. That's a fun mixing pink. And then Ultramarine Blue is just a really nice granulating color. But let's say these are all you had. Let's see what we can get with these. So I'm going to go ahead and start with yellow. Let's get a little more than that. All right. So Hansa Yellow Light is like a lemon yellow, and that's why I chose it. Lemon yellow or a cooler yellow is a perfect mixing color. Okay, now let's wet the Quinacridone Red, which as you can see is more of a magenta. Just going to add some water to that. And the reason I chose a magenta rather than, say, a red color is because I'm using the CMYK method. And when you use a magenta rather than a red, you have the ability to create red by mixing these two colors together, but you can't create magenta from red. So I'd rather start with magenta and work my way up. Okay, so here's our ultramarine, and as you can see, I've used this a bit. You can unwrap the label, the wrapper, as you go. Just don't take it off like I did. These are so convenient. I've had artist friends say they take these on the airplane with them and they don't even get questioned because they just look like crayons. Whereas if you took tubes of paint on an airplane, sometimes you get stopped. Okay, so now we've got our colors down. Let's do a little bit of mixing. So I'm going to take my yellow and my magenta and see what we can get. So let me get a little more pigment than that. So yellow and magenta makes red. Add a little more yellow, and that's where we start getting into the red zone. And then as you add more yellow, it starts turning more orange. And then when you add magenta and blue, you start getting the most beautiful violets and purples. Look at that. It's gorgeous. And then if you want to achieve some greens, you do yellow and blue. This is a floppy brush. It's like a natural hairbrush, so it's a little floppy. And there's a green color of some kind. And if you wanted a more clear blue, maybe a phthalo blue red shade would be nice. Now, phthalo is a staining color. Sorry, it's a very intense color, but you do get clearer greens with that. So maybe not ultramarine, but I do use ultramarine to make some really gorgeous purples. So pick a phthalo. Cobalt blue is really gorgeous as well, if you like a lot of granulation. So mixing cobalt with Quin Red is really gorgeous. Cobalt Teal. Let's mix it with some yellow first. Woo! It's like neon. Put that there. This brush is probably not my best choice that I've ever picked. That's pretty. Okay, I grabbed a little bit of a stiffer brush. There we go. Now it's not so floppy. Whoa, look how much pigment that picked up. Gorgeous. Look how much pigment you get. That's like insanity. All right, let's do some phthalo blue red shade with this Quinacridone Red and see what we can get. Ooh, look at that purple. Let's mix those together. See what different shades we can get. So pretty. So yeah, phthalo blue is a great choice. Ultramarine's a great choice. And Cobalt Teal is a fun choice. So Cobalt Teal, Hansa Yellow Light, and even Opera Pink would be really gorgeous choices. So here's my sad little Opera Pink. Let's get us some good. Some of these are harder to re-wet than others, just depending on the pigment. They're still easy to re-wet, period. It's just, it depends on, like I said, the pigment. Some pigments in general are just a little bit, they're like my teenager. They're just a little harder to wake up. They might need a little help with some water. Just kidding. I've never done that. My husband has, but I have not. Okay. Here's some Cobalt Teal. Let's see what we can get. Ooh, get some moody purples with that one. Let's try it with the yellow and see what happens. And because I know you're going to ask, this is the Polina Bright. It's a quill brush. Had it for a couple years, can you tell? Look at that neon orange. So yeah, if you want a really, really fun combination, I would go for these three. Opera Pink, Cobalt Teal, and Hansa Yellow Light. Man, the sky is the limit with these. You could do so many fun things. Other ways that you can use these for mark making is, some people do this. They'll just write with them on paper and make some textures. And then you can wet it. But be aware that depending on the texture of the paper, you're going to have marks left behind. If that's something you are trying to achieve, great. But if not, just be aware of that. These are a little bit different than like the Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2 water-soluble wax crayons, pastels. They're a little bit different. Those are softer and more waxy. These are true watercolor. Another way that these can be used is dipped in your water. So I've dipped it in my water, and then I'm going to use it to make a puddle Look at that. This is my Quinacridone Red. So I'm just going to use that to make a quick puddle that then I can grab it and put it on my paper. Super simple. And you can also mix doing this. It's going to be messy, but you can. So I'm dipping this in the water. And I'm going to make some moody purples by adding this. And to clean it, it's super easy. Just dip it back in your water and then just rub it on your cloth. And we are back to clean. Okay. Now let's see what kind of mixtures we're going to get out of that. So pretty. Look at that moody purple. Gorgeous. Okay. By the way, if you are interested in this paper, I do offer it for sale on my website. So basically the only way to buy this paper is from Jerry's Artorama or Jackson's, and it's only sold in either large rolls for a couple $100. I almost said euros. We're in America, folks. I'm so sorry. A couple $100, or you can spend about $75 and buy 10 sheet packs. So they're the 22 by 30 full sheets. And that's how I buy it, but I've had a lot of students asking if they could purchase just one sheet at a time. So I do offer it in 3 different sizes. So you can get 2 5x7s, 2 7x11s, or 1 11 by 15 quarter sheet. And this is the size I do all my pet portrait commissions on. So the link to my website is in the description, and you can head on over there and buy this. And also, my dot card ships free with every order. So if you've been wanting to try my dot card, go ahead and order some paper, or you can just pay shipping and get my dot card by itself. So I really enjoy having these colors nearby. This is basically what I use for my pet portraits. I really love having this titanium white stick. So oftentimes when I am finished with a pet portrait, I will need to add either some white whiskers or maybe a white highlight in the eye. And as you can tell, I use this quite a bit and I've made it dirty. I'm going to flip it over. And that's dirty too. Awesome. So let me just clean it off really quick. I'm just going to dip it in my water and then clean it off ever so gently. There. Now it's good as new. Okay. So this one has been really handy. I just keep it like this, and then if I need to add like white whiskers, like I said, or if this was dry, I could add it, but let's say I need to add a white highlight in the eye, I could do it like that. So if you've been looking for something that's kind of an opaque white to add at the end, this stick is really, really handy to have. That's how I use my watercolor sticks. Different artists do different ways. I would love to hear if you've tried these and how do you like to use them. The link to purchase these will be in the description. And as always, you know I love ya. Have an amazing day.